That fresh laundry smell you love? It could be poisoning you slowly. For seniors, fabric softeners are hiding dangerous chemicals linked to respiratory damage, hormone disruption, and skin reactions that worsen with age. The soft sheets touching your skin may be coated in toxins banned in other countries. Today, we're exposing 9 fabric softeners to avoid at all costs, and the 2 that are actually safe. Coming in at number 9, we've got Downey Ultra Downey Infusions. Downey has been a household name for decades. The commercials promise cloud-soft fabrics and long-lasting freshness. Mothers trusted it. Grandmothers swore by it. But what Procter & Gamble never told you is what independent lab testing actually found inside that iconic blue bottle. Environmental Working Group researchers gave Downey Infusions a D rating for health concerns. That is not a typo. One of America's most trusted fabric softeners received a near-failing grade for what it contains. The fragrance alone, listed as a single ingredient, actually hides dozens of undisclosed chemicals. Under current FDA regulations, companies do not have to reveal what makes up their proprietary scent blends. They call it trade secret protection. Critics call it legalized deception. For seniors, this matters more than you might think. Those mystery fragrance chemicals include synthetic musks and phthalates, compounds linked to hormone disruption and respiratory irritation. If you are taking blood pressure medication or managing a heart condition, your body is already working hard to maintain balance. Adding hormone-disrupting chemicals through daily skin contact creates invisible stress on your system. Picture this. You pull your favorite cotton pajamas from the dryer. They feel impossibly soft. You breathe in that lavender scent and feel comforted. But what you cannot see are the quaternary ammonium compounds, called quats, coating every fiber. These chemicals are what make fabrics feel slippery soft. They are also what researchers have linked to asthma development and skin sensitization in older adults. The betrayal runs deep. Downey promises comfort. What they deliver is a cocktail of chemicals that the European Union has already restricted in consumer products. Why are they still legal here? That is a question worth asking. Studies show that fabric softener residue can remain on clothing through multiple wash cycles. That means even if you stop using the product today, you may still be exposing yourself for weeks. For seniors with compromised immune systems or chronic respiratory conditions like COPD, this lingering contamination poses serious risk. The soft touch you feel is actually a waxy chemical coating. Run your fingers across a treated towel. That slick sensation is not natural fiber. It is petroleum-derived compounds bonding to the fabric. Every time you dry your face, those compounds transfer to your skin. Every time you breathe near freshly dried laundry, volatile, organic compounds enter your lungs. Downey built an empire on the promise of freshness and softness. What they actually built was a delivery system for chemicals your body was never designed to handle. And for seniors whose bodies are already managing multiple health challenges, the additional burden may be the one that tips the scale. A 2023 consumer survey found that over 60% of adults over 50 use fabric softener at least weekly. That means millions of seniors are unknowingly exposing themselves to these chemicals with every load. The cumulative effect over months and years is something researchers are only beginning to understand. But the early data is troubling enough to warrant immediate caution. At number 8, we have Gain Fireworks In-Wash Scent Booster. Gain markets itself as the brand for people who love bold, long-lasting fragrance. Their fireworks scent boosters promise up to 12 weeks of freshness trapped in your fabrics. But here is what the commercials leave out. That extreme fragrance longevity comes from some of the most aggressive chemical compounds in the laundry aisle. The product contains benzisothiazolinone, a preservative so irritating that the European Union has restricted its use in leave-on cosmetic products. But in America, you can dump it directly onto the clothes that touch your skin all day and sleep in at night. The chemical is designed to prevent bacterial growth in the product. What it also does is trigger contact dermatitis in sensitive individuals, and seniors are among the most sensitive. As we age, our skin becomes thinner and more permeable. The protective barrier that kept irritants out in our 20s and 30s weakens significantly by our 60s and 70s. This means chemicals that younger skin might tolerate can cause rashes, burning sensations, and chronic itching in older adults. Gain Fireworks promises to make your laundry smell incredible for months. What they do not promise is safety. Independent testing found that the scent beads release formaldehyde-releasing preservatives when heated in the dryer. Formaldehyde is classified as a known human carcinogen, by the International Agency for Research on Cancer. You would never deliberately spray carcinogens on your bedsheets, but that is effectively what happens every time those scent beads hit high heat. Consider what this means for seniors managing chronic conditions. If you are on kidney medication, your body's ability to filter and eliminate toxic compounds is already compromised. Adding a daily dose of synthetic fragrance chemicals through clothing contact increases the burden on organs that are already struggling. The fresh scent you smell is your kidney's nightmare. Gain's parent company, Procter & Gamble, generated over $80 billion in revenue last year. They have the resources to create safer products. They choose not to because strong fragrance sells. They are betting that you will prioritize the smell of your laundry over the health of your lungs. The beads themselves present another danger. They do not fully dissolve in all water temperatures, meaning residue can build up in your washing machine and on your clothes. That residue continues releasing volatile organic compounds long after the wash cycle ends. Every time you open your closet, every time you pull on a shirt, you are triggering another release of chemicals into the air you breathe. Think about what that means in practical terms. You fold a load of laundry and stack it in your dresser. Days later, you open the drawer and that powerful scent hits your face. That is not just fragrance. Those are volatile compounds becoming airborne and entering your respiratory system. For seniors with diminished lung function, each breath of that scented air carries particulates your body must filter out or absorb. Want the real truth about what is lurking in your laundry room? Subscribe now so you never get blindsided by hidden chemical dangers that could affect your health. Most people have no idea how to actually get these chemicals out of their clothes and their homes. But do not worry, we will break down the solution at the very end of the video. Now at number 7, we have Snuggle Blue Sparkle. The teddy bear on the bottle looks harmless. Snuggle has used that cuddly mascot for decades to create an image of gentle, baby-safe softness. But laboratory analysis tells a different story. One that should concern every senior who has trusted this brand. Snuggle Blue Sparkle contains glutarol, also known as glutaraldehyde. This chemical is primarily used as a sterilizing agent for medical equipment. It is so potent that healthcare workers who handle it are required to wear protective gloves and work in ventilated areas, in a product designed to coat your clothing and bedding. The FDA has received numerous consumer complaints about Snuggle products causing respiratory distress, skin rashes, and eye irritation. For seniors with pre-existing asthma or chronic bronchitis, exposure to glutarol can trigger acute episodes. Imagine waking in the night, struggling to breathe, never connecting your symptoms to the freshly laundered pillowcase against your face. Snuggle promises fabrics so soft you will want to cuddle up and never let go. What they deliver is a chemical residue that dermatologists have identified as a leading cause of textile-related contact dermatitis. That persistent itch you blamed on dry winter skin? It might be your fabric softener attacking your body's largest organ. The fragrance chemicals in Snuggle Blue Sparkle have been tested and found to persist in indoor air for hours after exposure. In a poorly ventilated bedroom, those compounds concentrate. Seniors who spend more time indoors, especially during cold months, face cumulative exposure that younger, more active people might avoid. Here is where the betrayal becomes personal. Henkel, the company that owns Snuggle, produces different formulations for different markets. Products sold in Europe contain fewer hazardous ingredients because European regulations demand it. Products sold in America contain chemicals that European regulators deemed unsafe for consumer use. Same company, same brand, different standards, and American seniors pay the price. The Environmental Working Group found that Snuggle products contain chemicals linked to developmental and reproductive toxicity. While these concerns primarily affect younger populations, the hormone-disrupting properties remain relevant for seniors. Hormonal balance becomes increasingly fragile with age. Introducing synthetic compounds that mimic or block natural hormones creates cascading effects throughout the body. That cozy teddy bear mascot was designed to make you feel safe. The chemicals inside the bottle suggest you should feel anything but. What makes this particularly troubling is the target demographic. Snuggle's gentle branding appeals to families with children and to seniors who associate the mascot with warmth and safety. The marketing is brilliant. The product formulation is anything but gentle. This disconnect between perception and reality represents one of the most cynical practices in consumer goods marketing. Why do you think the same company sells safer products in Europe but dumps the toxic versions on American shelves? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Number 6 is Bounce Dryer Sheets. Bounce has dominated the dryer sheet market for over 50 years. The promise is simple: eliminate static cling and add fresh scent with a single sheet. What the commercials never mention is that these thin sheets are saturated saturated with some of the most concerning chemicals in household products. Each bounce sheet is coated with quaternary ammonium compounds, the same family of chemicals used in industrial disinfectants and pesticides. When heated in the dryer, these compounds become airborne and coat every surface of your clothing. They also vent into your laundry room air and eventually throughout your home. The American Lung Association has issued warnings about scented laundry products contributing to indoor air pollution. Dryer sheets like bounce release, acetaldehyde, and benzene when heated, both classified as hazardous air pollutants by the Environmental Protection Agency. For seniors with reduced lung capacity or chronic respiratory conditions, this exposure can accelerate decline. Consider your morning routine. You shower, you dress in bounce-treated clothing, you make your bed with bounce-treated sheets. Throughout the day, your body heat activates the fragrance chemicals embedded in every fiber. You are essentially wearing a slow-release chemical delivery system against your skin for 16 or more hours daily. The waxy residue left by dryer sheets also affects fabric performance. Towels become less absorbent. Athletic wear loses its moisture-wicking ability. But more importantly for seniors, that residue reduces the breathability of fabrics. In hot weather, this can contribute to overheating. For anyone taking blood pressure medication that affects temperature regulation, this seemingly minor issue becomes medically significant. Bounce claims to make laundry day easier and more pleasant. What independent researchers found is that regular use of scented dryer sheets correlates with increased reports of headaches, respiratory symptoms, and skin irritation. The convenience comes at a cost your body pays in silence until symptoms become impossible to ignore. Procter & Gamble, which manufactures Bounce, has faced multiple lawsuits over product safety disclosures. Critics argue the company deliberately obscures the full ingredient list by hiding harmful compounds under generic terms like fragrance or biodegradable softening agents. When a corporation with billions in resources chooses vague language over transparency, you have to ask what they are hiding. The static cling those sheets eliminate is a minor inconvenience. The chemical exposure they create is a major health concern. For seniors already managing complex medication regimens and chronic conditions, adding another source of toxic exposure makes no sense, especially when safer alternatives exist. The irony is that dryer sheets were invented as a convenience product for a problem that barely exists in modern life. Static cling occurs most in synthetic fabrics during dry winter months. Natural fibers like cotton and linen rarely experience significant static. For most laundry loads, dryer sheets solve a problem that was never really there, while creating chemical exposure that definitely is. At number 5, we have Suavitel Morning Sun. Suavitel is one of the top-selling fabric softener brands in America, particularly popular in Hispanic communities and budget-conscious households. The Morning Sun variety promises a fresh, bright scent that lasts. What the cheerful yellow bottle conceals is a formulation that has raised serious red flags among toxicologists. Independent laboratory testing found that Suavitel Morning Sun contains limonene and linalool, terpene compounds that sound natural but oxidize into allergens when exposed to air. This means the longer the bottle sits open and the longer treated clothes sit in storage, the more allergenic the compounds become. Seniors who buy in bulk or store seasonal clothing for months face amplified exposure to these transformed irritants. The product also contains methylisothiazolinone, a preservative that the European Commission's Scientific Committee on Consumer Safety has called one of the most significant causes of contact allergy in Europe. Dermatologists report treating increasing numbers of patients with mysterious rashes that resolve only when fabric softener use stops. The connection often takes months or years to identify. Meanwhile, patients suffer. For seniors on fixed incomes, Suavitel's lower price point makes it attractive, but that savings comes with hidden costs. Medical visits for skin irritation, prescription creams for contact dermatitis, potential complications from allergic reactions. These expenses add up. The bargain fabric softener becomes expensive when you factor in the healthcare consequences. Colgate-Palmolive, which manufactures Suavitel, markets the product as gentle and long-lasting. What they omit is that the longevity comes from chemicals designed to bond to fabric and resist washing out. That persistence means continuous exposure, even when you think you have cleaned your clothes. The Morning Sun fragrance contains over a dozen undisclosed compounds, each with its own potential for adverse effects. For seniors taking multiple medications, the possibility of chemical interactions multiplies with every unidentified ingredient. Your pharmacist cannot warn you about interactions with compounds that are not listed on the label. Do not go yet. We will reveal exactly what you should look for in a safe fabric softener, and it is coming at the very end. The answer might surprise you. Number 4 is Purex Crystals In-Wash Fragrance Booster. Purex positions itself as the sensible responsible, affordable alternative to premium laundry brands. Their Crystals product line promises to boost freshness without the residue of traditional liquid softeners. But affordable does not mean safe, and this product proves it. Purex Crystals contains styrene, a chemical the National Toxicology Program has identified as reasonably anticipated to be a human carcinogen. The compound is commonly found in foam plastics and insulation materials. Its presence in a laundry product defies common sense, unless you understand that cost savings drive formulation decisions, not consumer safety. The crystals dissolve in the wash cycle but leave behind fragrance-carrying compounds that bond to fabric. When those fabrics enter the dryer, heat reactivates the compounds and releases volatile organic chemicals into the air. The concentration of these airborne chemicals in a poorly ventilated laundry room can exceed safe exposure limits within minutes. For seniors living in apartments or smaller homes where the laundry area connects to living spaces, this means regular exposure to industrial-level chemical concentrations. The shortness of breath you feel after folding laundry might not be exertion. It might be chemical irritation. Henkel, which owns Purex, markets the crystals as a way to extend that fresh laundry scent. What they have actually created is a time-release chemical delivery system that continues exposing you long after wash day ends. Open a drawer of treated clothing and you trigger another release of fragrance compounds into your breathing zone. Consumer complaints about Purex crystals include reports of migraines, dizziness, and nausea that users initially attributed to other causes. The pattern only becomes clear when multiple people report identical symptoms and when those symptoms resolve after discontinuing the product. The promise of long-lasting freshness masks a darker reality. That persistence means chemical persistence. The scent you still smell after 3 weeks is not magic. It is synthetic compounds so tenacious they survive multiple wash cycles. Those same compounds are in constant contact with your skin and lungs. Independent air quality testing in homes using these products found volatile, organic compound levels up to 5 times higher than in homes using fragrance-free alternatives. For seniors spending the majority of their time indoors, this elevated chemical environment becomes the air they breathe for hours every single day. The cumulative exposure adds up faster than most people realize. Coming in at number 3, we have Arm & Hammer Clean Sensations. Arm & Hammer has built brand trust over generations through their baking soda products. That trust transfers to their laundry line, but it should not. The Clean Sensations fabric softener shares a name with a trusted household staple while containing ingredients that would make any informed consumer pause. The product contains dipropylene glycol, a solvent that the Environmental Protection Agency lists as a volatile organic compound. When heated in the dryer, this compound evaporates into the air you breathe. While acute toxicity is low, chronic low-level exposure has been linked to respiratory sensitization, meaning your airways become increasingly reactive to irritants over time. For seniors managing COPD, asthma, or other chronic lung conditions, this progressive sensitization is dangerous. Each exposure makes the next reaction more likely and more severe. The fresh scent you enjoy today could be training your lungs to overreact tomorrow. Arm & Hammer claims their Clean Sensations provides odor elimination through baking soda power. But ingredient analysis reveals baking soda represents a tiny fraction of the formulation. The bulk of the product consists of synthetic fragrance compounds, chemical softening agents, and preservatives that have nothing to do with the trustworthy powder in your refrigerator. This represents a profound betrayal of consumer trust. The company deliberately evokes their reputation for simple, safe, natural products while selling a chemical cocktail that belongs nowhere near your skin or lungs. They trade on generations of goodwill while delivering something entirely different from what the brand name implies. Consumer Reports testing found that Arm & Hammer fabric softeners leave significant residue on treated fabrics. This residue reduces the lifespan of clothing and bedding while maintaining chemical contact with your body. The softness you feel is actually your fabrics breaking down faster under a coating of synthetic compounds. Is not it strange how billion-dollar companies can hide dozens of chemicals under the single word fragrance and call it legal? What do you think they are really protecting? Trade secrets or themselves from lawsuits? At number 2, we have Gain Liquid Fabric Softener Original Scent. Gain Original has been a laundry room staple for decades. The distinctive green bottle and bold scent have made it one of America's best-selling fabric softeners. But popularity does not equal safety, and this product demonstrates why blind trust in familiar brands can backfire. Laboratory analysis of Gain Original revealed the presence of over 20 synthetic fragrance compounds, none of which appear individually on the ingredient label. Among these hidden chemicals, researchers identified several classified as respiratory sensitizers and potential hormone disruptors. The scent that announces clean laundry to your nose announces chemical exposure to your body. The Environmental Working Group assigned Gain Original AD grade for health concerns, the same failing score as the least safe products on the market. For a brand that dominates shelf space in every major retailer, this rating should spark outrage. Instead, it remains buried in technical databases that most consumers never consult. Gain's parent company, Procter & Gamble, spends billions annually on advertising. Their marketing creates emotional associations between their products and happy families, clean homes, and carefree living. What they do not advertise is the peer-reviewed research linking synthetic fabric softener fragrances to migraine disorders, asthma exacerbation, and endocrine disruption. For seniors, the hormone-disrupting properties of these chemicals carry specific risks. Estrogen and testosterone levels naturally decline with age, affecting everything from bone density to cardiovascular health. Introducing synthetic compounds that interfere with hormonal signaling adds unpredictable variables to an already complex system. Your doctor manages your hormone-related conditions, but nobody accounts for the chemical exposure coming from your clothes. The original scent is designed to be aggressive and persistent. Those qualities that make freshly laundered clothes smell powerful are the same qualities that make the chemicals difficult for your body to process. Strong scent equals high chemical concentration. Persistence equals ongoing exposure. Consumer complaints about Gain include reports of skin reactions ranging from mild irritation to severe contact dermatitis requiring medical treatment. The company's response has consistently minimized these concerns, attributing reactions to individual sensitivity rather than product formulation. When a corporation blames the customer instead of examining their product, you know where their priorities lie. And finally, the worst offender at number 1, Downey Unstoppables In-Wash Scent Booster. This is it, the number 1 fabric softening product you should avoid at all costs. Downey Unstoppables have become phenomenally popular, generating hundreds of millions in annual sales. The promise of weeks-long fragrance has made them a laundry room favorite. But beneath that promise lies a product so chemically aggressive that it represents everything wrong with the unregulated American household chemical industry. Independent testing found that Downey Unstoppables contain some of the highest concentrations of synthetic fragrance compounds in any consumer laundry product. The scent beads are designed to partially dissolve in the wash, coating fabrics, then continue releasing fragrance for up to 12 weeks. That sustained release requires chemical compounds so stable and persistent that they resist not just washing but also environmental breakdown. The product contains galaxolide and tonalide, synthetic musks that bioaccumulate in human tissue. This means these compounds do not just pass through your body. They build up over time, concentrating in fat cells and organs. Research has detected these chemicals in human breast milk, blood samples, and tissue biopsies. They have become part of our bodies without our consent. For seniors, bioaccumulation carries amplified risks. Decades of exposure to environmental chemicals have already created a body burden, a toxic load your organs continually work to manage. Adding aggressively persistent synthetic musks increases this burden on systems already working at reduced capacity. Your liver, kidneys, and lymphatic system are the cleanup crew for environmental toxins. Downey Unstoppables add to their workload with every wash cycle. The beads also release formaldehyde-releasing preservatives when heated. Formaldehyde is classified as a Group 1 carcinogen by the World Health Organization. Trace exposure might be unavoidable in modern life, but deliberately introducing additional sources through laundry products is indefensible. Procter & Gamble knows this. They sell safer formulations in markets with stricter regulations. American consumers get the toxic version. Consumer complaints about Downey Unstoppables are extensive and alarming. Reports include severe respiratory distress, skin reactions requiring emergency treatment, and migraines lasting days after exposure. Individuals with chemical sensitivities report being unable to enter homes where these products are used. The scent that users find fresh and pleasant becomes a toxic barrier for others. The Environmental Working Group rated Downey Unstoppables with an F, the worst possible score. No other mainstream laundry product received a worse rating. Yet walk into any grocery store and you will find these products prominently displayed, often with promotional pricing to encourage bulk purchasing. The disconnect between scientific assessment and retail promotion reveals how little the market prioritizes consumer health. For seniors on multiple medications, the unknown interactions with these bioaccumulating chemicals represent an uncontrolled variable. Your cardiologist monitors your heart medications, Your nephrologist watches your kidney function, but nobody monitors the synthetic musks building up in your tissue with every load of laundry. This invisible accumulation proceeds unchecked while you trust that products on store shelves have been vetted for safety. They have not been vetted, not meaningfully, not in ways that protect you. Downey promises that clothes will smell incredible for weeks. What they actually deliver is a bioaccumulating, hormone-disrupting, carcinogen-releasing chemical system that has earned the worst possible safety rating from independent researchers. The Unstoppables name should warn you, these chemicals are unstoppable in your body too. When you consider that the average American washes approximately 300 loads of laundry per year, the exposure numbers become staggering. Each load treated with these scent boosters deposits more synthetic chemicals into your clothing, your home, and ultimately your body. Over a decade, that adds up to thousands of opportunities for chemical absorption through skin contact and inhalation. The first safe option is 7th generation free and clear fabric softener. After everything we have covered, you need to know that safe options exist. They are harder to find and often cost more, but they prove that effective fabric softening does not require toxic chemistry. 7th generation free and clear contains no synthetic fragrances, no optical brighteners, and no quaternary ammonium compounds. The Environmental Working Group rates it an A, the best possible score. Independent testing confirmed the ingredient list matches what actually appears in the bottle, with no hidden compounds lurking under vague terminology. The product uses plant-derived softening agents that break down safely in the environment and on your skin. For seniors with sensitive skin, respiratory conditions, or concerns about chemical exposure, this represents a genuine solution. Your clothes feel soft. Your linens smell clean without synthetic perfume. Your body faces no additional toxic burden. 7th generation also maintains transparent manufacturing practices, publishing complete ingredient lists, including fragrance components. This transparency allows consumers and healthcare providers to make informed decisions. If you are managing complex health conditions, you can share the actual ingredient list with your doctor and pharmacist to check for potential interactions. The cost per load is higher than conventional options, but the math changes when you factor in avoided healthcare costs, longer-lasting fabrics, and peace of mind. Paying a few cents more per load seems reasonable when the alternative involves undisclosed carcinogens and hormone disruptors coating everything you wear. The second recommendation is ECOS laundry detergent with built-in fabric softener. For seniors seeking simplicity, ECOS offers an all-in-one solution that combines cleaning and softening in a single product. Fewer products mean fewer chemical interactions and less opportunity for exposure. ECOS uses coconut-based softening agents and essential oils rather than synthetic fragrances. The formulation has earned USDA certification as a bio-based product, meaning the ingredients derive primarily from renewable plant sources rather than petroleum chemistry. For health-conscious seniors, this represents a fundamental shift from the toxic profiles we examined earlier. The company manufactures all products in carbon-neutral facilities and packages them in recyclable bottles made from recycled plastic. While environmental concerns might seem secondary to health concerns, they actually connect directly. Companies that prioritize environmental responsibility tend to prioritize ingredient safety as well. The corporate values that drive sustainable manufacturing also drive formulation decisions. ECOS products carry EPA Safer Choice certification, meaning the Environmental Protection Agency has reviewed every ingredient for safety. This third-party verification provides assurance that no hidden chemicals lurk beneath vague label terms. What you read is what you get, a rarity in the laundry product industry. For seniors managing multiple health conditions, simplifying the laundry routine with a single safe product reduces exposure opportunities and eliminates the guesswork of combining products. One bottle, one pour, clean and soft clothes without the toxic burden. Not all fabric softeners are created equal. Some are quietly damaging your health while promising comfort and freshness. Subscribe now, and if you're watching on TV, tap your remote so you never get blindsided again. Every week, I will show you what products to avoid and what choices are actually safe for you and your family. Your health is worth protecting.